Here's everything you need to know about the WNBA Western Conference. What's up? I'm D. This is the Viva Las Aces podcast brought to you by the Deep Dig, a sports network. Before we dig into anything, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe, drop some comments below. It all really helps us to push this forward and move this content to people that really want to see it. So today, we are going to be digging into everything you need to know about the Western Conference as we start to kick off this WNBA season. I'm so excited. It seems like it's going to be another great season. So I guess to kick it off, let's go ahead and just talk about the Las Vegas Aces, the reigning back-to-back champions, the now favorite to win the championship moving forward and three-peat. I think that this is going to be another amazing season by the Las Vegas Aces. Realistically, if you look at this team from top to bottom, there is so much experience here. There is so much now gelling, camaraderie, team chemistry. Obviously, the coach, Becky Hammon, is really experienced, knows exactly what to do to get this team to perform and peak when needed, which is obviously in the playoffs. I think they have excellent star power in Kelsey Plum. Asia Wilson becomes the first Black woman to have her own signature shoe in the last 20 years. So Vegas is rolling. They are filling themselves, and there is no reason to believe that anyone is going to be able to knock off this Las Vegas Aces team. If you look at their roster, there is so much experience here. I know they've just made the final cuts to the roster, and it looks like there's only going to be 2 rookies. So the 2 rookies on this squad are going to be Caitlin Clark's old running mate, Kate Martin, and Deja Fair. Deja Fair, honestly, I'm a little bit surprised at her size. She is only a 5'5" guard, but looking at the rest of this roster, there is a lot of length. There's a lot of veteran years that have been on this team. So I think the team is going to be fine. I think you need to find, when you're in a dynasty like this, you have to find ways to get younger and continue to build that culture. And I think that's exactly what they're doing with these 2 rookies. I'm really excited for the rest of this season. I think that they're going to be well coached. Obviously, they're going to be ready and prepared. I don't think there is a single scenario that they will be thrown into where they haven't seen previously. So I feel 100% good about locking in this pick and saying, the Las Vegas Aces are going to be this year's WNBA champion. So let's go ahead and hop over to a team that hasn't been so great the last couple of years, the Seattle Storm. So the Seattle Storm had a very disappointing season last year. They went 11-29, and this was the first year without Sue Bird. It was one of the youngest rosters in the entire league. But not all hope was lost. Realistically, they did have Jewel Lloyd, who ended up scoring the most points in WNBA history. Another member of the Storm who was a first-time All-Star. So I know the coach doesn't want to call it a rebuild. They're calling it a retool. But, I mean, they went out there and they've gotten veteran leadership. They've gotten some more pieces. It's a more complete team, and I know that they're making a run and trying to make it a new Storm. So they add Skylar Diggins-Smith, they add Nike Ogumike, and I think that the Seattle's team is going to be one that's a little bit slept on, but I think they could, turn things around from this year to last year. A team that I don't think is going to turn it around is the Los Angeles Sparks. So Los Angeles Sparks, they add a couple of pieces. They add Cameron Brink from Stanford, which was actually a really cool story. She's going to stay in California. Went from Stanford, NorCal to SoCal in Los Angeles with the Sparks. And she lit it up during her WNBA preseason debut. I think that that's going to be a really good piece for them moving forward. It seems like they were trying to build around her, but today there was a shocking cut when they had to cut veteran Monique Billings after she just signed a 2-year deal with the Sparks this offseason. So pretty wild, because a lot of people were saying that this would actually be a really good piece to fit in with Cameron Brink. But for some reason, didn't make the roster. I'm not sure what they were thinking there. I think maybe the Sparks are trying to figure out, because they are in this in-between spot where we aren't ready to compete for a championship. And I don't think we're going to be bad enough to really tank and get a number one overall pick. What do we really do here? So it is a surprising move because they did just sign Billings this year. But I mean, maybe they're already reading the tea leaves and knowing, hey, this is going to be a tough season for us. We should just load up next year. Uh, to be honest, I wouldn't do it. And it comes off of where they just traded the number 8 overall pick to the Chicago Sky. And during that deal, they got Julie Alamond. And turns out Alamond's not going to be playing for the Sparks this season. She is going to be sitting out due to personal reasons. So that's another big blow to that roster. What can they do? What were they thinking? I have no idea. But Sparks fans, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Is this a good move? Is this a bad move? I'm a little bit lost for words on this as far as what you're doing with the roster build. All right, moving forward to the Dallas Wings. The Dallas Wings made the postseason for the first time since their move to Dallas, which was really awesome. They're looking to capitalize on this success and keep it moving forward, hopefully get over the hump. They made it to the semifinals last year where they were beaten by the eventual champs, the Las Vegas Aces. So they have a lot of momentum moving forward. There is one wrench in this, though. The Dallas Wings best player is going to be out until at least August by some reports, which is kind of insane. So Satu Sabely, the Dallas Wings power forward, is going to be out until what many are saying the Olympic break in August with a shoulder injury. And that's the Wings best players. So what are they going to be able to do? Can they put enough wins together to stay in the playoff picture, move forward, be competitive, and then catch wind once Sabely gets back? Or is it just going to be a kind of a done season where you kind of lose out because your best player's out? Is the team going to be able to rally? I'm not completely sure, but that's one to watch for sure. Because, I mean, if they do stay afloat, the Dallas Wings have a ton of talent. They, again, just made it to the semifinals. They lost to the eventual champions. There is no, depending on how it shapes out, if they get a low seed and they maybe not the 8 seed because they take on the Aces probably, but if they can get a 2 or a 7 or 6 seed and move forward, you never know. They could get hot at the right time towards the end of the season, getting their best player back. And a team that's getting a little bit of buzz moving forward as we get closer to the season is the Minnesota Lynx. So the head coach, Cheryl Reeve, has made some statements that she is unhappy with the way the coverage of Caitlin Clark is being all around. And again, completely understand, but it does feel like hater. But the Minnesota Lynx are actually going to look to rebound over the last 2 disappointing seasons. They're looking to make defense their main focus with a couple of key players. So last year, they were really focused on developing 2 rookies in Dorka Yotes and Diamond Miller. Both of them starting pretty much every game, and that experience is hoping to carry them forward to this next year and just have a clean slate. Hey, let's get after it. Let's be defensive. They also have a ton of talent with Nafisa Collier, and they're hoping to get off to a faster start than they have been the last 2 years. The previous year, they started off 0-6. The year before that, they started off 2-8. If they can just stay afloat and keep things moving, they're hoping that they have a much better season with a couple of team members that are a lot more seasoned, not in their rookie year, ready to go. And last but not least, we have the Phoenix Mercury, which are led by probably 2 Hall of Famers in Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. With some unfortunate news today, it was actually announced that Brittany Griner is going to be out for the foreseeable future with a fractured toe. And this has really swung the pendulum as far as the odds for the upcoming Las Vegas Aces game. And what I think, too, is the fact that Diana Taurasi has had such a, I mean, not a turbulent offseason, but there was a lot of talk about the commentary during the NCAA tournament between her and Sue Bird, talking about Caitlin Clark and all these other rookies. And I think that's actually going to be really good for DT. I think that she is just one of those people that has a different type of mentality that will work herself into, hey, let's get after it. I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. No one believes in me. All I said was that these rookies are going to have an awakening. It is going to be harder from college moving into the pros, which is not crazy. And everyone shit on her. So I wouldn't be surprised if we went out and seen a real like Diana Taurasi just light it up this year. Does she still have it in her bag? I think so. But I mean, she is getting up there in age, so we'll see. But I think that this Phoenix Mercury team, when healthy, could be a legit contender. But that is to be determined how healthy they actually stay. Uh, and be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And again, be sure to subscribe as we're going to be following along with the Las Vegas Aces and the WNBA as a whole on this channel. All right. Later.